Board the plane, crack the safe, steal the gold. Such a simple plan. What could go wrong? We'll tell you when we discuss the Netflix original Lift. Coming on board this week, we welcome.
Hey, I'm Darnell.
I'm at.
I'm Chad. We're about to take off on the 144th episode of your award winning podcast. We used to talk about this at work. All right, I'm back. Got the big, squishy first chair. Thanks for keeping it warm last week, Matt.
You might need to wash it because I'm
No, I
sick now.
well, okay. I thought you was gonna say I might need to watch it after listening to the shit y'all talked about last week.
Content is content, baby.
Is it though? Is it
Mhm.
though?
We will see when the numbers roll in.
Yeah, we shall see. So this week we are welcoming another one of your friends from the old days, Darnell. How you doing, dude?
I can't complain. I'm glad to be here on your award-winning show.
So why don't you? So you and Matt used to work together. Is there anything you can share about that time?
You know, I'm gonna keep it simple. It was a coming of age moment for the both of us. He had hair. Um, he was proud to be from St. Louis, and we learned he made sure we knew that a lot. I got a chance to see his first apartment, and it was, I mean, he's really, really laid down a foundation in Sasebo where there was no parties until he came. I'm just gonna say it like that. I mean, I'm not gonna name the specifics of it, but there was a lot of tropes he left. He brought culture to all of Sasebo
Where
across the board.
where are you
And
from? Where are you from?
oh, Atlanta via
Okay,
Chicago.
okay.
Yeah, I live in Texas now though.
No, well, you were
Yeah.
like he was like you were like he would let everybody know he's from St. Louis. I was like, oh, well, where are you from? What's going on there?
Yeah. I mean, everybody put down that flag, but I will say he was a standout feature. I will give him that. And it took him no time to find a girlfriend in record time. And like she was all over him in no time. I was like, wait a minute, nobody else got he that quick, and he was in a different department. I mean, he cheated a lot in video games, but
Okay.
he did what he had to do.
I'm glad you said video games.
Yeah, I'm like, what? I'm like, sir, what are you doing? We
Oh,
I'm
not
not at
glad
even
you
all.
said.
No, no.
we
I'm
not
glad
even
you. I'm glad you said video
we
games.
not even 4 minutes into this episode, and you putting this man out there. Okay, I see
No,
how
no,
it
no,
is.
no. No, he
Man, I
never
used to
did
be a
anything like that.
beast in Halo. I used to be running shout.
Yeah, I'm gonna need some co-signers on that. There might be some angry people that might you won a
Hey
lot,
man,
but it was under pretenses. It was under different pretenses.
It
You
was a
know.
it was a different time, if you will.
Indeed, it was. I mean, if it wasn't from him, I'd probably spent way too much money on alcoholic beverages and video games. Like there was just so much out there between like Fight Night, that was Def Jam Vendetta, Marvel versus
Mm,
Capcom. It was commitment where we did lesser work because we were immersed in our bond as a friendship.
mm.
we during that time, across the board, everybody who was on the ship at that time, like you said, we created a unbreakable bond to where everything we've been through, from the highs to the lows, that even 15, let me do my math right, 18 years later, that haven't spoke to somebody and, hey, can you do this? And no doubt that this person's going to do it. So I take it as just we was forward deployed, and whatever in the scenarios that we went through just created an unbreakable bond that we all cherish.
And I
How
will give
long?
you credit. I will give him credit on this here. I believe he bought Comic Cons to Japan because he dressed it. Him and a lot of his associates, they dressed in animal outfits, and they weren't doing that heavily in America yet, let alone in Japan so much. I will give him that much.
We he was talking about the parties I threw. So my first one, it was at a bar, and yeah, everybody who's it was involved that hasn't been on the show. So, but people involved, yeah, we went out and got costumes and stuff just to be silly and things like that, and that slowly
Even
kind of be a staple.
How long were you in, Darnell?
5.5 proud years.
Okay. Okay. So you pre-show you were telling us that you might be going to the Super Bowl.
Oh, initially, I was speaking about this past Super Bowl. I had an opportunity to go with my CEO, but since it was a record-breaking low, he chose to opt out of it with his brother, and I'm glad we did
What do you mean
because
record-breaking low?
I mean, in history, there's never been a record-breaking low for the weather. It was at like negative 20 degrees at the game. A lot of people
You're
suffered
talking about
the
the wild
playoffs. Well, the playoffs game, brother.
the one last week.
Absolutely.
Okay, yeah. So that was the wild card game between the Chiefs and Miami, and they said that it was negative like 20 degrees or something like that, to
Correct.
where it was like the second um coldest game in NFL history, and like people who was buying beers, it was freezing before they could drink it. And I read an article where they were saying like I want to say 8 people had to go to the
Yes,
hospital for like hypothermia and things like
that's
that.
correct. That's
Yeah.
correct. That's exactly what happened, and I'm glad I didn't go.
Yeah. It's not worth it to me to be, if that cold, you have a more enjoyable time at home.
So
I've only been in 1 degree weather within the last week.
so why didn't they call the game or delay it, I should say?
Honestly, I believe it was really important because the Chiefs are the face of the NFL right now, and
I get that.
what appears by Taylor Swift supporting Travis, it's like, hey, this is one of the main games that we're watching because we're expecting them to make a return visit, and nobody's concerned about another team in the NFL, period. I mean, we have our favorites, but I can honestly say Patrick has gotten his money's worth. I wish I was in the situation.
No, I feel you.
I,
I feel you. I just
I think it more has to do with getting there, because Buffalo had a cold game too. Not as cold, but they had a lot more snow. So where they canceled that game and they postponed it to later on,
Yeah.
because it's
But
about it's about physically getting there and everything like that. Like if there was a concern, a safety concern about people physically getting there, then they canceled it. But just being cold, that's up to you if you want to be cold.
oh,
right.
okay. All right. I mean, if drinks are literally freezing, that's not a safety concern. Okay.
Not for NFL when it comes to that money.
I believe that was a great. I believe that was the outline right there. This is the wild card game with Kansas City, and this Kansas City, the show must go on. Too
I
much money
feel,
on the line. Way
I
too
feel
much.
you. I feel you. And then there's some young love with your son.
Yes, I'm proud to say that he's celebrating his anniversary after 1 year with his girlfriend, right? And I've been in support of him highly. Him being in the marching band and she's on the dance team with him. It's really going well for him. Really going well. I mean, he's already learning how to drive and everything.
So he's like 16.
He's 15. He'll be 16 in April.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, good luck with all that. That's really cute.
I need it. I really do need it. It's like being a father. God got a sense of humor where I'm really raising a younger version of myself, and I have to be vulnerable with his needs. Otherwise, he won't come to me with his thoughts, and
Hmm.
what's troubling him.
And that's, I agree. That's the biggest thing. Like the more I see him do stuff, it's more stuff that I did as a kid, and that's what I'm saying. You want to have that trust to where they feel comfortable, good or bad, to tell you stuff,
Yeah,
and that takes time.
yeah, safe zone. I mean, we live in a different world where I can confirm that there was a lot of kids that weren't even 10 years old that got a brand new iPhone this year, and they have access to a lot more than us. And the safest thing we could do as parents, like, my son has a allowance of $20, but that's not the amount of money that he gets. I mean, it's more just like it's like what's in your wallet. I need all of that. If you give them money, you can't miss. Like there's nothing you can't do for them if you have the finances, but it's always money. That's all it is to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in the hole. Like seriously, Christmas set me back, because he almost had everything. Like, I don't know anybody that has two VR headsets, one at my house and one at your mom's house, and you have a PS5.
Is VR that dope though?
I mean, it has it. Yes, I believe it has its moments where I've dived into it where I believe that where people are missing at VR games, you don't have to pay a $60 price. There are $15 games that are only like 3 hours, and then you have $45 games that could run 8 to 10, and then you have the more ones they put a lot of effort into that are 60. So
But you
at
could
any
say
moment,
the same thing on Xbox or PlayStation with the stuff that you have in their store.
It's more about the immersion of the VR stuff of you actually being there and things like that. To where, like I have one and it's a novelty. It's a novelty item. It's like a board game. I'm not gonna play this by myself, but then when people come over, then I bring it out because
Mm,
people's never experienced it, and it's a cool little thing and stuff like that for people to do who's never done a VR stuff.
I got you.
mm, yeah, and different things like there's like boxing games, or it's more interactive. I will give it that. Like if you go to David Buster's, they have, the Star Wars game, and you're sitting there, you can almost bust a sweat versus being on a VR ride or something like that. Like it really is. I got my money's worth. I will say that.
Yeah, that's true. When you playing those, like there was a roller coaster game that I got motion sickness playing that game.
Ah, yeah, I suffer from high elevation sickness myself.
So I read an article too with Kenya Barris in there, and for people who don't know, he created Blackish and all of those shows and stuff.
Mm.
And he is in production of doing a biopic of Richard Pryor.
Oh,
Um,
did they
they talked
cast?
about
Didn't do any casting yet?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
Um, but the thing that part of the article struck my attention is he's going to remake The Wizard of Oz.
Now the Wizard of Oz, not the Wiz.
No, The Wizard of Oz, and let me get the exactly what he said. This person is going to take place in Inglewood, California.
What? Oh,
Hmm.
maybe the before they go to Oz part. Maybe that's what he
Yeah,
means.
yeah. So he said the original Wizard of Oz took place during the Great Depression, and it was about self-reliance and what people were going through. Bear said, "I think this is a perfect time to switch the characters and talk about what someone imagines their life could be. It was ultimately a hero journey. Someone thinks something's better than where they're at, and then they go and realize that they're at this where they should be. Um, and not only that, um." Where the fuck did he say that? All right, this article is being whacked. But also, he wants to do a Wonderful Life too. Remake a Wonderful Life.
Oh wow,
I okay.
interesting. I'm open to the idea. I just want to see like the plot of it. Will it line up with you know more modern times, or is it going to be more where you're trying to tailor towards the community and the world we live in now?
Oh, I found a part. He says his version of Dorothy is a girl who lives in the Bottoms, which is a huge apartment complex located in Inglewood, California.
Okay. I mean,
Interesting.
it feels like the Wiz.
Yeah, I was trying to see if there was more to it, but it's like location, location. Mm,
So
right.
my thing is also like I don't want Kenya Barris behind this. Like I don't like him as a creator because it's like I'm not saying things can't have like racial undertones, but in my opinion, he's really heavy-handed with the racial issues that he does in his projects. And also,
Of course, Dorothy's going to be mixed.
well, okay, I was getting to that too. And then it's just like he doesn't seem to know how to cast any dark-skinned black people.
Right.
I can agree with that. I mean, I I lost my following for Blackish because I believe it was more just the whole show is like disconnected from what reality is. It wasn't like the shower. No, that's not how it is. When you live in the suburbs, STEM programs and your kids are already paid to go through college, and he's just remembering the tropes how he grew up, and just be happy that you made it out and you're married to a registered nurse.
Right,
I,
right.
I read online that this is going to be called Wiz Wiz-ish.
See,
That's funny.
when they I can't wait to see you guys review on it. I really can't. I
I
really,
am
really.
curious if this will actually get made though, because you know how like a lot of times they'll say, "Oh yeah, I'm trying to do X, Y, Z," and then it just never comes out.
Right.
I believe it. I mean, for the most part, I believe it'll just go straight to a streaming site. It's very possible. As far as like for it to make it to theaters, it's not
Right.
going to get steamed like Barbie. I don't believe
I mean,
really
that's
would.
that's that's a really high bar to set. I wouldn't compare
If it
anything to
is, I mean,
Barbie.
because if it's like Wizard of Oz, and you make it and you change the characters around, but if you make it with that F, with the trope of different of the ethnicity being in that kind of background, it might go straight to streaming. Streaming West, Peacock, Netflix. That's it.
Well, the thing is, it would have to that see then that's the tricky thing, right? Because of like who owns what. So MGM owns the rights to Wizard of Oz, which is owned by Amazon. So theoretically, it would go straight to Prime, but Prime Amazon makes a push to like put as many things as they can in the theater because they want award recognition.
I
So this
suppose
so this possibly and also like Wizard of Oz, like that name alone is going to go in the theater because it has name recognition. That's why we keep getting all these remakes and stuff because like people don't want the studios don't want to like put new stuff out there. They want to
it's a
put
risk.
something in the theater that you recognize so that you will go and see it. So if
Correct.
you reboot The Wizard of Oz, it's gonna go be in the theater.
It's got to make that money. We're talking about a $200 million more
Well, nobody
movie.
said that. Nobody said that. Nobody said he was getting $200 million, and you don't need $200 million to redo the Wizard of
I
Oz.
mean, CG versus just a camera going around Oakland or Inglewood.
Well, no, remember
I mean,
that's just the beginning though. Like when we get to Oz, that can be sets,
mm, yeah,
but
good
we'll
old
see.
cosplay.
So, Matt, you're thinking about doing cocaine?
Shit, I might as well. May make me feel better.
Mm.
Um,
Oh, I guess
no,
we elephant in the room. Matt's sick.
you have a fever. I feel
Oh,
like boo boo.
oh,
Everybody's looking for that next caffeine high. You have all the energy drinks, monsters and stuff. And what is that drink? What is that Panera that has all that extra sugar and stuff that um you know what I'm talking about? That lemonade stuff from
Yeah,
Panera.
yeah,
Yeah.
agave or something like that
Right. So now they have a snortable caffeine powder.
at
Um
Panera.
no 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 no, this is totally different. And it's called Wanna Bump. Um so The product offerings include nasal spray, powder vials, and fake rolled money for consumption. The company's website advertises products as innovative energy supplement that consists of a balanced blend of caffeine and inositol, a sugar produced by the body, designed to provide an immediate, smooth energy boost. Now, one consumer who chose to remain anonymous discovered it on Amazon for $14.99 and described it as like intense cat cocaine minus all the bad side. That's a horrible example. Uh, like a less intense cocaine minus all the bad side effects. They felt the effects immediately and used approximately 500 milligrams a week, mainly at home when they need an energy boost. However, medical professionals are skeptical about this notable caffeine. So, would you
hmm.
try this notable caffeine?
I don't want to snort anything.
Honestly, I'll try anything once, and I'll reference this to a travel. King, do you recollect us traveling to Russia where they had snortable alcohol?
No. You guys went there right before I got there.
That's unfortunate. Yes, they had snortable alcohol, and we tried absinthe. But I believe that we should let the better taste. Like, hey, this is the beta models, like, because something could go wrong, allergies. Me, I don't want to fail a drug test unless I do it on the low. And
Oh,
I just want to see how it works out for those around me before I would give it a whirl because I don't do cocaine. I just like the way it smells. But yeah, we'll see how that transpires. I mean, if you can't try new things with your friends, then they're not your friends.
Hmm,
okay.
I like that
Um,
answer.
Matt, would you try snortable caffeine?
No,
Why
not at
not?
all. I don't like to do. I don't like to do anything like that. No, I don't even like taking pills.
Oh, well, you got to crush them up. You got to
See,
crush them
so
up.
I
Yeah,
I
I
just
don't want to be.
I keep it basic.
Okay, I don't. I'm gonna be the one. I'm not gonna be stuck in my ways. I'm open to new things.
All right, so Matt and I would like to have an argument with Matt. So Darnell, you a PlayStation or an Xbox guy?
Ooh, wow.
Do you have
Ah,
do you have both?
I
What
have dabbled in both, and I will have to say that right now, because we're able to cross platform,
wait,
yeah.
what do you own? What do you
Right.
yourself own? Not I bought this for my kid. What do you own?
It's more just like one and PS5, and one came before the other. And I believe right now Xbox One is at the top. And that's only due to the fact there's not a lot to play on PS5 at this point, and we've been waiting for GTA for over what 10 years. We've waited way too long, so there's nothing really out there for you to really play on PS5. They're letting you play PS4 games and games we never asked for, and Xbox One is leading the way. I really do believe that.
Okay, so just so I'm clear, you own both systems.
Xbox One and PS5,
Yeah, you have both. Yes. Okay.
absolutely.
Okay. All right. So Matt just recently bought the PlayStation Portal. For those that aren't familiar with the PlayStation Portal, it is think of it as like a tablet with PlayStation controllers attached to it, and it lets you remotely connect to your PlayStation 5, which is at your house, and then you're basically streaming the games from your home system to wherever you are.
Mm. With that being said, was that purchase, Matt, based off of the fact of your wife not knowing what to get you, and I had, recommended it?
No, it boils down to it was available, and she gave me permission to buy it.
With that, has it upset you that so many other portable actual video games have been available? We've been just swamped with so many from outside of Steam Deck. We have the Asus ROG, we have the Lenovo, and we have probably two more dropping real soon here across the board. And it's like I don't know which direction to go, but from my understanding with the PlayStation Portable, the issue at hand is Wi-Fi.
Yes, that's what it boils down to. If you are looking for a basically a portable system, this is not for you. This is not what this is. Um, this is more for basically people can who would like to play their PS5 not on their TV, basically, or people who would like to play at work or during their lunch break or something like that, or somebody with kids to where Bluey or something's on the TV and you want to play it, but now you can play it on this. And like you said, yes, the Wi-Fi is a big component of this. And strangely enough, I thought it was the Wi-Fi where you're at, but actually it's the Wi-Fi of where your PS5 is at.
Well, it's both actually.
Well, yeah, it's both, but it's mainly like if you're good where your PS5 is, then it also depends on both. But yeah, I thought it was just one. Um, it's yeah, basically that's what it is. It's for like if you want to on your lunch break jump on some whatever, then it's good. So like I tried Spider-Man out, which was great. But I feel if you were trying to do some online stuff like Call of Duty or Fortnite or something like that, unless your um internet's amazing, you're going to get like drops or lagging and things like that. So I wouldn't, if you're thinking about I'm going to play Fortnite on the road, I wouldn't think of it like that, but more like a single player game, which would be good.
Yeah, so when you were asking me about it, I was like, like whatever. Like, cause I have the backbone. So like I can connect my iPhone to this
Hmm.
and play. And for me that's fine. Like I got like these retail for like 80 $90, but I got it off marketplace for like $50. And I'm
Hmm.
like, this is fine. Like sometimes, like if I got a new hot game and my daughter wants to watch TV, I can be on the couch doing this and she's watching her show. Or the rare occasion that I'm traveling, I could, connect and play. And but also the neat thing about this is like this is a controller for my phone. So if I
Hmm.
have games installed on my phone, I can use this. So
Hmm.
Netflix is into games now. So I downloaded Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, and I was playing
Hmm.
like this on my phone. But like I
Ah,
was just like, why did you buy that though? Because it's like $300, right?
Two.
Too.
Yeah.
It's like I like that's my biggest issue with it too, because it's like it's not like it's a system, it's Wi-Fi dependent. So it's
Hmm.
so it's like if anything in this in here is like not good, you're not playing shit. And it's just that, right? You can't use it for any other purposes.
Um, you can use it for whatever your PS5 does, minus the
Oh,
streaming stuff.
streaming. Yeah.
Yeah, like Netflix and stuff like that. You can't do none of that or whatever like that. So basically, just video game playing, basically.
Yeah. I don't honestly know who this is for. Like I get the examples that you use, but like we all have cell phones at this point. Like get a controller.
Well, it depends on how you feel about the controller. With
Well, you can
like
actually Bluetooth
like
your actual controller to your phone
oh, you can.
and remote plays that way.
I think I have the answer. I believe that PlayStation Portable was a more frugal way to have a outside way of actually playing on a mainstream system because as you know, if you try to get a Steam Deck, it could run you everywhere between $500 and $600, right? And I believe it was just a way for them to people that don't have the money to toss away like that. Like I didn't get the Steam Deck on the differentials that the battery is only like 3 to 4 hours. That doesn't
Mhm.
work for me.
But
So I
it's
was
not
waiting to see what else was
but
coming out.
it's not internet dependent though, right? Like what I'm saying is like I know like you might need the internet to like download some stuff, but like
From
you
straight from Steam. It's in there, but everybody doesn't have money to put away like
no, no,
that for a
no.
Steam
What?
Deck. So
No,
it's like
no. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying the way it works. Does it work like the PlayStation Portal where you are streaming the games from your computer, or can you download them to the device?
from what I heard, it's both, but I believe it's mainly it's more just a Wi-Fi thing. Like, hey, set up a hotspot on your phone. Boom, that go ahead and jump on that Steam Deck and you're good to go. And I've known people to have the option where they have like 1 terabytes on their Steam Deck and it's already downloaded completely in there. Most people go that range. So if you don't have like $600 and it's downloaded completely on the handheld system, and you don't have the money like that, I would believe that PlayStation Portable is for you.
Chad, you took a mini vacation. How was that?
Yeah. So I went to New York last week, but the point of the trip was I wanted to see some shows.
Mhm.
Um.
Like
So yeah,
musicals?
yeah, on Broadway.
Hmm.
So yeah. Well, before we get into that, so I checked out the Museum of Sex. Because I
Hmm.
saw like an Instagram thing about it, which was kind of cool. So like it's three tiers to the ticket. So the first tier is just the ticket. Second tier is the ticket, and you get like a booby stress ball.
Mhm.
And then the third tier, you get the booby stress ball plus an edible. And so I was like, okay, I wasn't aware that, weed and stuff was legal in New York, but whatever. So, the first half of it is like an actual museum. So it's it's talking about like different like sexual uh like artifacts. Like here's like some information from like one of the bunny places in Vegas, brothels.
Mhm.
Ah, the Bunny Ranch.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like it's information about that. Like they had like issues, not issues, but like they highlighted like Playboy, like historical things in sex. And then there was a section of the museum that talked about like sex and music where shit was popping off in the 90s, sure, like Lil Kim and stuff, but then like it was going like as far as back as like the 60s and the 70s and stuff, like the kind of stuff that was happening in music then. And then the second half of the museum was like a carnival where you could play like sex themed games.
Mhm.
Like there was one where it was the claw machine thing, and
Mhm.
then it was
Hmm.
like sex toys you could pull out, but claw machines are rigged. So,
They had
uh
some in Japan where you can get undergarments.
classic Japan.
Classic Japan.
Other little games. Then they had like one of those games where you just shoot water into the mouth thing, but it's like a
Uh, like
sexual.
like like normally it's like a clown or something. The balloon gets bigger or
Yeah,
whatever. Yeah.
Ah,
but it was like a sexual thing, so it was pretty cool.
were you
um
expecting more?
no, I mean there was more. I was just no, I was just saying it was pretty cool.
Would you recommend it?
Yeah, what? It's a good, like it could have been a situation where they were like, here is some sexual history and also some stuff you can take a picture next to and fuck off. But there was like actual effort in the
Mm.
museum, which I appreciated.
Okay.
Okay.
But yeah, so shows. So saw two shows. The first one was called Gutenberg the Musical. It stars Josh Gad and I forget his name, but they were in the Book of Mormon together. And essentially the play is they are two guys that spent their life savings trying to get a show made. And so like the show you're going to is the only night that they could afford the show to run. And they can't afford any actors, so they're playing all the different parts. So it's kind of like
That sounds cool,
it sounds cool. Yeah, it sounds cool.
but it wasn't.
So the thing is like it's it the so like they'll break character and like explain parts to the audience. But like the problem is like the joke is a comedy, so like the musical that they're doing is not supposed to be good. And so it's like
Oh.
I don't care, and like these none of this matters. Like yeah, obviously it's entertainment. It doesn't matter.
Uh,
But it's like
dry humor.
no, it was funny, but I'm just saying like if you're watching a show within a show and the show within the show is supposed to not be good, then what I care about is before we go down that extra layer about the two guys, and I don't care about the two guys because it's just two fucking dudes on stage.
Okay.
So it was fine. Like I don't see them like doing something to where it's like a national tour or anything like that. So like I feel
Mhm.
like this will just end on Broadway. It was fine to go to, but whatever. But the second show I saw on Sunday night was called Shook. Shook. It's the one Amanda recommended to us
Mhm.
about the corn. And it was really fun. And I went on the final night of the show, so like everybody was emotional in the cast, like they were holding back
Did you do that
tears.
intentionally?
Yes,
Okay.
because like it's gonna be a very different vibe if it's the last show.
Okay.
So like the show has two narrators, and so they pop in and out throughout the show, and like one of the narrators, like he was just crying so hard when the show started, because
Mhm.
this is your family for the last 2 years or however long they've been doing the show.
Mhm.
And then like, some of the women was it in one song specifically, it's a really emotional song. And like the two actresses just were just crying, like, throughout the song. And like they got like a 2 minute standing ovation while they were trying to, compose themselves.
Okay.
Mm.
So it was a really good show. It was a nice time. Overall, I had a good time in New York, but it was so expensive.
Oh, I believe that.
Yeah.
Shit.
But yeah.
Yes, I've been to the Nutcracker before to opera. I enjoyed it. And I can't go in it anymore unless it's like Samuel L. Jackson's wife performing, because no opera will hold up to the scene in The Fifth Element with Pablo Laguna. I just can't watch another one. It's
Mm.
my favorite performance of all time. Yeah.
That's funny.
And they could at least put an explicit show in there where they're not showing anything or have a curtain up or something like that. I mean, it is that kind of expose. That they
Kids, if
like
you
that
don't
call.
know, kids, if you don't know
I
what he's
mean,
referring to, go look up Fifth Element. It's a great
yes,
movie.
it's an extraordinarily, it's a masterpiece.
Yeah, I haven't seen it in so long. I need to probably go back and revisit it.
Same.
It might be up for review.
Mm.
Possibly.
Mm.
Wouldn't be against that. So my last thing is that, so, I had a, very uneventful trip out of town. It was nice and chill. Walked a lot. Nothing out of the ordinary, nothing, no cause for concern. And so I get back home and I pop by a friend's house, and as I'm leaving my friend's house, I forget that when you leave their house, there's a big step down, right?
Hmm.
As you're walking out the door. And I forgot. And so I stepped down and I didn't feel a step and I panicked. And then my foot just went. And so I'm like, So I didn't fall because, I was in cliffhanger mode. But I fucked my foot up real bad. Like,
Uh, was your friend with you, when this happened, or you was already out the door?
no, it was as I was walking out the door.
Did they laugh?
Yeah.
Oh,
So it's
Cause
like that so it's like that Meek Mill skit when he fell down, almost fell down the stairs in the snow. Okay.
yeah, cause my friends ain't shit. Yeah.
right.
Okay. You didn't roll your ankle or twist it, did you? I mean, just
It's more my foot,
oh,
less on
okay.
my ankle. So like I was limping to the car, and then later that evening, like I was giving my daughter a bath, and I was like, wait, I never looked at my foot and this still hurts. And it was just like swollen. And I was like, huh, okay. This explains some stuff.
How was it
So
now?
I it still hurts. So I iced it and the swelling's down and it still hurts. So I went to urgent care yesterday and they did an x-ray and stuff. And the doctor was like, yeah, man. So I'm a little concerned with something that I see on here, but I don't want to definitively give you a diagnosis, right? So
Hmm.
he's like, oh, I'm gonna forward the x-ray to another party and we will call you. And I was like, okay. And they never called me. So I'm hoping I will get a call Monday.
Okay.
That,
I
that
wish
means
you
you
were clean
good.
bill of health. Yeah, I mean, you ain't got plantar fasciitis or nothing like that. Hey, if he knew, he
That's-
would have said something.
he didn't want to be like, oh man, this shit not broke. It's just a sprain. And then the other person like, nah, we need to immediately remove this man's foot. He didn't want to he didn't want to be liable.
Right.
Okay. Hmm.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
damn.
hopefully everything's okay.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed. But all right, that's all of our stuff, and that takes us to this week's discussion of Lyft.
You and your friends are looking at identity fraud, money laundering, and transportation of stolen property. But I'm here to offer you a deal. We need you to steal something.
A master thief and his Interpol agent ex-girlfriend team up to steal $500 million in gold bullion being transferred on a passenger plane. All right. So, um, Darnell, what did you
Yes.
think of this movie?
Honestly, I overestimated it. I had spoke to King ahead of time and I was like, hey, I'm looking at the premise of the movie being about a heist and I'm like, hey, this isn't like Dwayne Johnson's movie, Red Notice. And when I went into it, I had elements like maybe it's like Bullet Train or like Six Underground. And no, no, it was not. I believe after watching it, I will say that Vincent D'Onofrio, who plays Denton in the movie, I was proud to see him because I'm a fan of his work. Before like Law and Order, he played Edgar in the first Men in Black movie, the big cockroach. And I have really been following his work playing on the Marvel movies as Kingpin and Daredevil, Punisher, Echo, and Hawkeye, and just seeing him in there. I believe he had the best character in the movie. It was great to see one of my favorite actors who's in the professional that played Leon. He's the main villain, but he really wasn't in the movie. He was on a video call and he had like 2 minutes of screen time. They probably ran out of money, but outside of that, I believe the movie would have been good if it didn't have Kevin Hart through the whole movie. And it was more CGI and a lot of D-list actors, sound stages. They went nowhere. Like they basically took a trip to Italy and he's like, "Hey, record me at the boat. We're going to go inside the museum, which is probably a sound stage." It was a waste of money and there was nothing intelligent about how they did it. I don't believe Kevin Hart has the physicality at about 5'3" to beat up bad guys. He didn't do he didn't come up with any sort of depth and layers. And when he tried to be deep about his backstory, it wasn't believable at all. His name was Cyrus. And I just wish to never have seen it. And I think I'm gonna give it another try. I'm gonna watch the movie during Valentine's Day for Netflix and chill. That's how I'm gonna watch it. I wish never to see that movie again.
Very definitive answer.
What about you, Matt?
I enjoyed this movie. I like how Kevin Hart is not doing his normal Kevin Hart stuff. He's not um the weak, cowardly person that he normally plays in his movies. I appreciate him trying to do something different. Um, um, now, yeah, I enjoyed this movie for what it is. I didn't have any high expectations for this movie. I appreciate it for what it was. Everything that Darnell said about the CGI and things like that, I didn't take that as a negative. It is what it is, but I appreciated that Kevin Hart trying to do something different. So I enjoyed this movie for a Netflix heist movie. It was fine for me. I enjoyed it. I hope he does more stuff when he's not playing quote unquote the Kevin Hart character. And then maybe he can grow and learn and do more to where he can be a little bit more believable outside of his normal stick that he does.
Hmm. Yeah, I thought this was decent. Like, my real complaint about this is like, we got an idea of we got some character development for Kevin Hart as well as his love interest. But like I feel like there were too many people on the team to not kind of understand where they're coming from. Like there were like light mentions of like why would they do this suicide mission essentially? Like, oh yeah, blah blah wants to see their family again and whatever, whatever. But it's like maybe if there were less people on the team, I could
Mm-hmm.
get to know these people and care about the team members a little bit. Because I
Mm-hmm.
didn't really care about anybody on the team. Like, yes, it's cool Vincent D'Onofrio was on the team. I know who he is. So, yes, I care about him. But you know what I mean? Like, I only care about him because of his other roles.
Right, right. I see what you're saying.
There was no character development. Like I've seen the guy who played the engineer. He was funny with by himself. It's like they only had so much money to give people a few lines in the movie, and it's like, did anybody die? Somebody got jettisoned out the cool jet that was R&D from NASA. Other than that, I'm like, who is that again? Honestly, do you guys recommend that we watch the movie again? Maybe we missed something.
I mean, it was
No,
fine. Like, I personally don't have time to rewatch a lot of stuff. because of
Uh,
the nature of what we do here.
okay.
So is this something that I would recommend someone? I would recommend this movie. Like it was a fine watch. Um
I
it's not
agree.
yeah.
I would recommend this movie. Not highly. It's not like drop everything what you're doing, go watch
Yeah.
this movie. But like, if you chilling on a Friday night, throw this on. I might even throw this on some like background noise or something like that while I'm cooking or something like that, and just
There
look
we
up
go.
occasionally of what's going on. So it's not bad, but it's basically that's what it is. I recommend it. A nice little Netflixy heist movie.
Hmm.
Go ahead, check it out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Dollar General for about $3 DVD. Put it in a potluck or a Secret Santa stash.
Hmm. Do
Fair
you have
enough.
anything to plug on the way out?
Yes. You spoke about them remaking a movie based around Richard Pryor. Have they
Mm-hmm.
released any information as far as like the actor or the premise of it? Is it a biopic?
Yes, last time I heard it. Now this was like last year. I heard it was going to be Mike Epps, but let me check. But
Richard
no, when I say
Pryor.
anything for you to plug, like your social medias or anything else like that.
Oh, absolutely not. Maybe next time. I mean,
Yeah. So
I mean,
as of last year, it's Mike Epps that's playing him.
interesting. The greatest comedian who ever lived, Mike Epps, is gonna play him. I want to see if it's good nor bad. He had his trials and tribulations in personal life.
Right.
And I want to see if Paul Mooney's going to be, who's going to play him in the movie if they do include that.
Yeah.
That's a
Uh-huh.
big thing. Because I had an issue recently with everybody speaking about Cat Williams, and it boils down to people write for comedians and borrow each other's jokes all the time. It's just they deliver it better. So Paul Mooney writing for Richard Pryor is like, does that make Paul Mooney the greatest comedian who ever lived because he came up with all the jokes, or it was it because Richard Pryor delivered it so well? So I
Right.
can't wait to see how the movie comes out.
All right. All
Mhm.
right. Once again, appreciate you. Thank you for being on.
Hope I could be welcome in the future.
Yeah, I'm sure you will. But I
Mhm.
mean, in all honesty, it depends on how your ratings do.
I understand. I got hit by a truck recently too.
That
I forgot to leave that out. It wouldn't be the first time.
that's a that is
Yeah,
that's some that's that is something to leave us on there, Darnell, man.
yeah. I'm gonna share a picture with you, King. You're gonna love to see how this guy's truck looked. But like I say, you have to pay attention to what you're doing. He thought he had.
Send me this information through chat. I'm not sorry to cut you off. It's just I want to wrap this up. I feel like shit, and I need to take some more medicine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just want to wrap up the show real quick and
Yeah, yeah.
take this stuff.
Thank
All
you
right.
for
Get well
listening.
soon, guys.
Thank you for listening. Please rate, like, and review our podcast on your platform of choice. If you have any feedback, please email us at we used to talk pod@gmail.com. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on X, formerly Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Threads at we used to talk pod. Follow me on Letterboxd at BOW1213, Matt at Mr. King 0257, and come back next week when we review Self-Reliance.
And like always, I don't know if this is a good episode. I don't know if it was a bad episode, but whatever you talk about at work. Thank you for listening.